right, ladies and gentlemen, it is your favorite dark sorcerer here. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about journals. I want to talk to you a little bit about grimoires and that of diaries. Okay. And to do this, why don't we talk about what we know today? Today, we know these things as Book of Shadows. More to the point, the definition or abbreviated version of it, the BOS. Okay? Not to be mistaken with the Brotherhood of Satan organization. Okay? But no, the Book of Shadows or blank Book of Shadows is one that is primarily used to record your magical works. Your think of it as your personalized record, your personalized library. Here, you will record your magical practices, your herbalism, your version of alchemy, be it regular alchemy, black alchemy, whatever. Eventually, you're going to get into medical stuff through herbalism. You're going to get into spiritual workings, whatever. Okay. Either way you look at it, you're going to be putting all of this stuff into your journal, your grimoire. Okay, your black book. And what's ironic is that there's no difference between the three outside of the very definition of the primary book in a coven setting, which is the black book. The grimoire is what's distributed to all the coven members. And the journals, those are each practitioner's personalized thoughts and feelings within your journey through rituals and ceremonies, okay, through your own personalized studies and what you bring to the table to a coven setting. Now, unfortunately, today, a lot of individuals are more solitary in nature. Okay, there are a few covens out there that utilize stuff like this, but for the most cases, you're looking at solitary practitioners who are utilizing their own grimoires, their own journals, and their own diaries. Okay? Now, let's break this down for just a moment. A diary is where you keep your personalized thoughts, your feelings. Okay? Things that you've experienced, things that you don't want anybody else to know, right? Schoolgirls and teenagers, they're renowned for keeping journals. If you go to therapy, they're going to have you keep a journal on hand so you can record things to turn into them like once a week or so. Okay, so that they can read and evaluate to help you become more mentally stable. Okay, and I'm I'm using that term quite loosely here. Okay, because I want you to get a bridged version of what a diary is and how it can play into a lot of different aspects. So, anyways, as I was saying, so this is where you put all your personal thoughts. The journal is where you're writing down your experiences, your thoughts, what worked, what didn't, so you can kind of keep that record of, okay, this went well, but this did not. Okay, what can I do to get this to align with this? And so I have a 100% success rate within my magical or spiritual rites, okay, and practices. Whereas the grimoire is primarily used as storage. The grimoire is used as storage, so you can actually break it down into sections: one for spells, one for potions, herbalism, demonolatry if you're into demonolatry, or say getting into the Orisha, the Loa, the Jinn, or even angelology. Okay, either way, you want a section for these spirits. Okay, now you got to keep in mind that every tradition has their own version of grimoires, their own versions of oils and brews and, the whole kit and caboodle across the board. So keep that in mind as well. A lot of them have been watered down over the centuries, but that's due to corruption and fear. Okay. So when we get back into it, I want to take you back into history real fast. Let's start out with Sanskrit. Okay. In Sanskrit, the word is Shabd Kosh. Okay. That's Shabdkosh. Okay. And this literally translates into journal or diary. Okay. In Arabic, the Majalatu, okay, is how it's pronounced, but it's ironic because of the fact that it's spelled Majala, and it means journal. Okay. In ancient Gaelic, you have the Irish Shia Har. Okay. And this is spelled IrishAbhar. Okay. And it means journal or diary. Okay. In ancient Greek, you have various different spellings, and I'm only going to touch on one of them, and that's Aoc. Okay, that's Aoyoc. Okay, and it means journal. It means to record. Okay, in Latin, you have a couple of different variations of this. The Advocatus Diaboli, meaning devil's advocate. Okay, or that of the Promota Fidei. Okay, Fidei. And what this means is it's somebody who does the devil's work and promotes his work. Okay. And this, if you're a Satanist, this is the stuff that you're going to be getting into, and a lot of times you're going to go with the Latin variation of that. In Old Latin, though, when we get into this, I want to take you through a couple of things. In Old Latin or Old French, you have the Durinalis, okay? Durinalis, meaning daily in Latin. It means, and you can go back into Diarnalus from Diurnus, Diarnus, which basically means of the day from the term dies, daily. And this also goes into memento mori. Okay, remember that we must all die, that we have inspiration to live again. So you're seeing a common theme here of the devil's perspective. Okay, you're recording his works, you're doing his works, and the church ain't liking that. Okay, which is why you had the witch trials, the persecutions, the burning times, the holy wars, the crusades, and all that other bullshit and stuff that we're still dealing with today. But if you get into necrology, it's known as necrology. Okay, that's Neku or Aleje. Okay, meaning the study of the dead, journaling or recording. Okay, and we actually have a term for that today in the medical community known as necrology. Okay. Necrology is where you literally record somebody's death, their dying aspects. Okay. When we look at the obituaries, what are you doing? You are literally recording death. Okay. And I want you to get that full perception here. Number one, when were they born? When did they die? Who did they survive by? Who supported them? Okay. When is the funeral? Okay, this is all stuff that is recorded for the public. And this also fits into thanatology. Okay, and thanatology deals with the ill person, it deals with the community, it deals with the family, and it studies the process of dying, much like in the Tibetan Book of the Dead. The Egyptian Book of the Dead, however, is run by the Shem priests of ancient Egyptian, the land of sorcerers. Okay? The Book of the Dead held all the spells, all the rituals, so that they could properly care for the dead in dying. Okay? From mummification to organ removal, it was all recorded. So you're getting that much broader picture from a wide range of sources. Okay? But you got to remember that the term grimoire or grammar, Graimmare in Old French, okay, it was basically took from a time when things were shifting into the medical process and was just thrown in with witchcraft and sorcery because the average person didn't understand. I mean, when's the last time you went to the doctors? Okay, just out of the blue here. When's the last time you went to the doctors and they used this huge, overabundant set of words, and it left you just sitting there going, "Huh?" You know what I'm saying? It's like, what the fuck did you just say? What the hell does all that mean? It's like major mumbo jumbo, kind of like that chicken scratch they call handwriting because they were trained to write a certain way. The average folk cannot read it. Okay? A grimoire was the same exact way. To the average person, it was hard to understand, it was hard to read. So, because of the shift from the monotheistic into the theistic perceptions, we're seeing that shift into spiritualism. And a lot of people did not understand what everything meant. This is why this information was held in such regard by the cunning men and women of the ancient worlds, the Shem priests, the mages, the sages, the magi, the wizards, the warlocks, the witches, the hexa, the stregoi, the strega, the ashin, the asha. Okay? This is why all this stuff was there because these people, these practitioners, dedicated their lives to the understanding of the body, spiritual. They were responsible for not only the spiritual aspects, the physical aspects, but also the emotional and mental aspects. So they had a huge amount of information that they recorded in these books. So when you look at your grimoires today, I want you to picture this. Okay? I want you to picture it because when you get into it, you're going to have sections for seals. You're going to understand, okay, this particular demon can help with desire. This particular demon can help with the persuasion of men's minds. Okay, this particular entity can make me invisible to my enemies. Okay, but also what type of crystals or runes can be used? What kind of gems can be used for prosperity, for harmony, for protection? You see, you're going to have a section for this stuff, just like you're going to have a section for sigils or sigilliums. You're going to have a section for herbalism, which is going to be things like hemlock, um, hellebore, yew, or yarrow. Okay, chamomile, catnip. Um, there's a wide range of stuff that you're going to be using, and you're going to have that understanding of these are poisons, these are beneficial to you, these are not poisonous, but can be used to help you. But even as a necromancer, you're going to find that some of these poisons can benefit you, especially if you have the right percentage, the right little amount of each for a concoction. But I'm not going to get into that. Not today. So, when we get into grimoires, journals, black books, and diaries, I want you to get a broad picture. It is not like you think today. I want you to go back in time, go through every era going all the way from Sanskrit, Arabic, Gaelic, Greek, Latin, French, Proto-Germanic. Okay, get into Mesopotamian. Okay, the old worlds, and you're going to get a much broader picture of what these books were and how they were displayed, how they were used, why they were so valued by the practitioners. But more so, why is it that every single religious practice has them, even to this day? Not just medical journals like you see through today's medical boards, doctors publishing books. That's a grimoire in itself. Procedures, when they do, when they read from their books in front of an audience. This is a new procedure. This is how it's done. This is how I came upon it. It's a record keeping process. And that is what these books are. On social media, you see so many people in groups today. Well, I wonder how I create this. How do I do this? How do I go about doing this? Look into the past. You don't need fancy colors. A grimoire does not associate with gender. It does not associate with what gender you tend to lean towards. It doesn't have anything to do with gays or lesbianism. It has nothing to do with political scandals. It has nothing to do with that bullshit. The grimoire is a record of your independent practice. If you're in a coven setting, it is that coven's knowledge. If you look at the term occult, it means hidden, that which is hidden from plain sight. What did I just say a little bit ago? All these ordinary people didn't understand it. They didn't understand it. They feared it. This person had all this power. So let me dub it down for you. Would you want a lawyer performing open heart surgery on you? Would you want a politician, just out of perception here, to lead you through an excavation site in ancient Giza, telling you, oh, this is the story behind the Shem priest or the burial applications? No. This is why you have different jobs for different people. Librarians work in libraries, doctors work in hospitals. But in the old days, what do you think a practitioner of witchcraft and sorcery was? They had all of this stuff rolled into one, and they had a book so they can turn to it to find the ailment of that individual, that affliction, how to cure them, how to deal with a blockage or a curse, how to cast a curse, what type of curse can be used, what herbalism or what animals have what type of toxins that can be utilized. It was all put in the grimoire, the journal, the diary. It was all put right in there. But you know humanity. You gotta make it 10 times harder than it has to be. This is why I'm a simple man. I like history. I like mythology. I like herbalism. I like the sorcery. I stay away from humanity as much as possible. And this is why. It is what it is. Try it sometime. Look into, type in journal from various different time periods, and you're going to see the same damn thing. Have a good day.